Hello there, this is Tina Spalding, Trance Channel, doing the Lessons of A Course in Miracles on YouTube for you with a commentary by Jesus after I've read the lesson. So what I'm going to do is just read the lesson as it appears in the Course in Miracles in the workbook, and then Jesus will have a little bit of wisdom for us channeled at the end. Lesson 5. This is one I use a lot. I am never upset for the reason I think. This idea, like the preceding one, can be used with any person, situation, or event you think is causing you pain. Apply it specifically to whatever you believe is the cause of your upset, using the description of the feeling in whatever term seems accurate to you. The upset may seem to be fear, worry, depression, anxiety, anger, hatred, jealousy, or any number of forms, all of which will be perceived as different. This is not true. However, until you learn that form does not matter, each form becomes a proper subject for the exercises for the day. Applying the same idea to each of them separately is the first step in ultimately recognizing they are all the same. When using the idea for today for a specific perceived cause of an upset in any form, use both the name of the form in which you see the upset and the cause which you ascribe to it. For example, I am not angry at Susie for the reason I think. I am not afraid of dogs for the reason I think. But again, this should not be substituted for practice periods in which you first search your mind for sources of upset in which you believe and forms of upset which you think result. I'm just going to read that again because I don't think I did it very well. But again, this should not be substituted for practice periods in which you first search your mind for sources of upset in which you believe and forms of upset which you think result. In these exercises, more than in the preceding ones, you may find it hard to be indiscriminate and to avoid giving greater weight to some subjects than others. It might help to precede the exercises with the statement, "There are no small upsets. They are all equally disturbing to my peace of mind." Then examine your mind for whatever is distressing you, regardless of how much or how little you think it is doing so. You may also find yourself less willing to apply today's idea to some perceived sources of upset than others. If this occurs, think first of this. I cannot keep this form of upset and let the others go. For the purposes of these exercises, then, I will regard them all as the same. Then search your mind for no more than a minute or so and try to identify a number of different forms of upset that are disturbing you, regardless of the relative importance you may give them. Apply the idea for today to each of them, using the name of both the source of the upset as you perceive it and of the feeling as you experience it. For example, I am not worried about such and such for the reason I think. I am not depressed about such and such for the reason I think. 3 or 4 times during the day is enough. As I said, this is one I use a lot in my daily practice. So your daily practice is the lessons you use and implement during your day. Once you finish the lessons, they become a part of your own consciousness and you use them to decipher what's actually going on in your emotional guidance system. It's very, very helpful. So let's bring Jesus through and see what he has to say to us today about lesson 5. You are blessed beings indeed. I am that one that you know as Jesus, and it is important for you to understand that most of the things you are upset about are not at all what you think you are upset about. Your anger at somebody cutting you off with their car, or the look that someone gives you that makes you feel terrible, these are all fictitious angers and opportunities for separation that the ego will use to keep you alone, to keep you fearful, to keep you powerless. When you begin to understand your own mind and how it affects your feelings and how your feelings affect your behavior and how your behavior affects your life, then you will understand the importance of this mind training program. Now, some beings do not like that phrase, but we want to address it here because you have been in a deeply convoluted mind training program your whole life. Your cultural teachings, your religious teachings, your school systems, your commercial television, all of these things are mind training programs, and a lot of your behaviors are not actually coming from a place of free will and choice. They are coming because you have taken into your mind training programs that have been deeply, deeply embedded in your personality. So when you view the world, you are viewing the world through multiplicity of lenses, most of which in fact are not your own and do not even hold up the values that you know are good and right and true. But because you've never gone into your mind and you've never excavated these seemingly little upsets, you do not know what your mind is made of, and you do not know what ingredients your mind is using to bake the cake for today. So all of the fears that your parents instilled in your mind, all of the superficial values that your society puts in there through commercial television, and you may not be watching television now, but trust us, you have had tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of hours of indoctrination from various sources, and they have put their values in your mind. And when you view the world through the lenses of those value systems. This course in miracles is going to get you back to the truth, but it takes a while. And so here on day 5, we congratulate you for showing up. And we thank this being for stepping into her role as a teacher, facilitator, and channeler, for assisting you in your journey towards love and home to truth. You will find that your mind becomes increasingly peaceful as you eliminate these beliefs and ideas. You will find that your heart will open more, you'll be more generous, you will not lose the personality that you think you are. You will only use some of the sharper edges of it and some of the darker corners of it, the shadows. So stick with these lessons, and we will see you again tomorrow for lesson 6. Right. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.